Hello guys, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing great. In today's video, we're talking about an Amouage fragrance, one that I recently added to my collection, and this is a bottle of Gold Man. So I've spoken about the House of Amouage many times on this channel. I uploaded a special anniversary video where I ranked my Amouage collection. And if you guys watch that video, you'll see that most of my fragrances from the House of Amouage are the women targeted fragrance, with the exception of Lyric Man, which is a really, really beautiful rose fragrance that I purchased last year. So I have been meaning to delve into the men's targeted fragrances. So there was a time when the House of Amouage released fragrances in pairs where there would be a man's version and a woman's version. And then at some point they stopped doing that, and the fragrances don't delineate man, woman, they're just unisex. And after exploring a pretty good amount of the women targeted fragrances, I was interested in exploring the men targeted fragrances. So I've done reading on the topic. I've even conversed with you guys in the comments to some of my videos. And there are a handful of the men targeted Amouage fragrances that I have been sort of meaning to get my nose on, such as Reflection Man, Sunshine Man, Dia Man, and I always heard that Gold Man was very unisex as well. So to be honest, I blind bought this. A good opportunity presented itself, and I did have a good idea of the scent profile of this fragrance, so I went for it, and there are no regrets. This is a stunning, stunning fragrance. So I know that Gold Man has come in various packaging through the years. The fragrance was released in 1983. The perfumer is Guy Robert. And I think originally the bottle is what they called the dagger style bottle. I'm not sure, you guys can correct me in the comments. And then the fragrance was repackaged into this style packaging. I think in 2021, the caps turned from non-magnetic caps to magnetic caps. And maybe it was at that point, I'm not sure, that gold was written on the bottle as opposed to on the neck of the cap. So what I have here is a non-magnetic cap, and the word gold is on the cap, not on the bottle. So there is a code on the bottom of this bottle. This did not come with its box. I looked up the code. It gave no information on batch code fresh check. So I don't know what year this bottle is from, but again, it is a non-magnetic cap and the word gold is not on the bottle. If anyone has any sort of tips or information, leave them in the comments. So this fragrance, I actually, to be honest, did not even realize when I purchased it is an older version of Gold Man. So that is what we are talking about today. This version, I have no idea what the newer versions smell like. I know that this one is a stunning fragrance. So let's spray it on skin. I've worn this as my scent of the day twice this past week, really enjoying this. So the fragrance opens up with a fresh, powdery, clean scent profile. It's aldehydic, it's almost soapy clean, and it lives in the world of Chanel No. 5, which I think is the knee-jerk reaction and compared to this fragrance, but I have to say, this is so much more. So yes, this fragrance, especially in the opening, or maybe only in the opening, I should say, does have a Chanel No. 5 component, but I really think that it's a knee-jerk reaction to think of Chanel No. 5 because this has so much more going on. This might have a component of the Chanel No. 5 aldehydic, soapy, clean, powdery scent profile, but that's not what Gold Man is to my nose and my experience from wearing this. The soapy, clean aldehydes, and by the way, when I say soapy, I mean elevated. I mean, this is a classy, elevated fragrance. This isn't a fragrance that just emulates a bar of soap. Soapy clean is a way to describe it. It is a complex fragrance and it is beautiful. So the floral, powdery, aldehydic opening that, yes, is a little soapy clean, is met with a beautiful, fresh and green frankincense, Omani frankincense. It's also met with myrrh in the fragrance, which adds earthiness and a depth. And green frankincense, from what I read, green Omani frankincense in particular, is an earthy frankincense with peppery undertones. It can be fruity, and it has a citrusy component as well, an orange, fresh, citrusy component. So not only do you have the citrus in the opening, you have a boost of the freshness from the frankincense, which I think is a top note in this fragrance, the Omani green frankincense, which is also a little bit resinous and it's warm. And like I said, there's a freshness to that as well. So you couple that together with the florals in here, which to my nose, the prominent florals in the fragrance are the lily of the valley, which is also a little green, also a little fresh, and the iris, which is earthy and powdery. So bring this all together, wrap your head around this beautiful concoction, and it doesn't stop there. The fragrance is met with beautiful moss. And when I first sprayed this and got my nose on this, because like I said, this was a blind buy for me, I thought, oh wow, this is in the world of Dia. This is in the world of Gold Woman, aldehydic, clean, powdery, soapy, floral. But it's a chypre fragrance. I absolutely detected the oakmoss in here, that green sort of prickly aspect to the fragrance that sort of provides a backdrop to this beautiful, fresh, soapy, floral, aldehydic fragrance. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant combination of all of these aspects. So I see it as a fragrance that's multifaceted. It has so many dimensions. It doesn't stop at the floral aldehydic Chanel No. 5 sort of scent profile. So to compare this to that fragrance, in my opinion, is a knee-jerk reaction. This does not compare to Chanel No. 5, which is a beautiful fragrance in its own right, in its own category. This also has hints of animalic notes as well. So there is ambergris and there's civet in here, and that's also something that, along with that oak moss, was sort of apparent to my nose upon first impression. So that was a part of the fragrance that gave interest in the scent profile. It gives a little bit of interest. It makes things interesting, while at the same time, no way is it an off-putting animalic aspect of the fragrance. It's absolutely lovely. Now, they do list Mysore sandalwood as a note in the base here, along with patchouli. And again, there's myrrh in this fragrance that adds depth. Mysore sandalwood is something that's not really used in fragrance because I think the percentage that's allowable under IFRA is so minute that actual Mysore sandalwood oil is simply not used the way it was used back in 89 and 90 in fragrances like Guerlain's Samsara. You want to smell real Mysore sandalwood, get your nose on that one. This one, I'm not sure. It does say Mysore sandalwood. I'm not an expert, so I'm not sure if it's an accord, if it's real Mysore sandalwood oil. Nonetheless, when the fragrance dries down, the florals are sort of met with this sandalwood that's prominent to my nose. So the fragrance, yes, it does open as a powdery, almost feminine leaning, aldehydic, powdery, floral, soapy fragrance, but the florals are sort of muted, while that fresh, green, clean, elevated scent profile is what the fragrance is about from the opening all the way to the dry down. In the dry down, it's not as floral to my nose. It's not as soapy clean because you have the myrrh, you have the oak moss, you have the slight nuances of the animalic components in here, but it's not off-putting, and you have the sandalwood. So there is a depth in the fragrance. There's a backdrop to the floral aldehydics that this opens with. It is 100% unisex. I have seen reviewers actually talk about the fact that certain men might be challenged wearing this fragrance because it is so feminine. I have no idea. I haven't really read too many reviews on this. I maybe watched 1 or 2 reviews a while back when I was interested in this fragrance, but I haven't read reviews, so I'm not sure if it's polarizing. I'm not sure if this is a fragrance that men feel that they don't want to wear because they feel that it's so feminine. I don't feel that this one is so feminine. So I do have Amouage Gold Woman. This is a 50 ml modern version of Gold Woman. I also have a 100 ml of the more vintage, well, I'm calling it vintage, non-magnetic cap bottle of this. And I would say that side-by-side comparison, yes, there are loose similarities, very, very generally speaking, but Gold Woman is much more floral and retains the floral aspects, while Gold Man is, I think it's actually a better fragrance for my taste, for me personally. Gold Woman is beautiful and I love having it in my collection, but this is absolutely stunning. I really do like the complexity that comes along with the floral aldehydic soapy sort of clean scent profile of this fragrance. So I see this on a woman wearing a linen shirt in the day. I see this on a woman wearing a red ball gown in the evening. I see this on a man wearing a white button down in the daytime, whilst I also see it on a man wearing a tuxedo in the evening, dressy. The fragrance is opulent, the fragrance is rich, the fragrance is absolutely stunning. And there's just so much that comes along with just a few sniffs when you put your nose to the fragrance, and it's coming at you in all directions. Yes, it's floral. Yes, it's clean. Yes, it's fresh. Yes, it's a little green, but the oak moss, the myrrh, the sandalwood is all part of this composition with these nuances of something just slightly animalic. So it's an absolutely stunning fragrance. This is the 100 ml size bottle. This is an eau de parfum concentration. The packaging is really nice. The bottle has some nice weight to it. The cap fits nice and tightly and snaps into place, which is nice, and it has a nice weight to it. And the packaging is always beautiful with Amouage fragrances, and I'm really liking this. I would love for you guys to let me know in the comments what you guys think of this fragrance for the men, for the women. Do you find it unisex? Do women like this? Do the men like this fragrance? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching, your support, and your comments. Until next time, bye guys.